go.
Happy New Year, Mike.
Happy New Year, Coach. Happy New Year to all our members.
And all our viewers. We are powered and sponsored by TradeView Markets. In fact, TradeView gives great service to those who aren't real nervous. What do you think? And if you're nervous, you shouldn't have an account anyway. So anyway, go ahead.
If you're nervous, the point is this year to sign into TradeGATEHub, because nervous money never makes money.
Never.
And the least thing we do here with over basically, almost a century worth of knowledge is, nervous money doesn't make money, and you just have to, work through the trade, if you will. So
yeah, reduce your leverage or wait until it really is risk capital. If you want to go way back, Mike, when I was a broker,
sure.
And someone was ready to open a commodity account with me,
Mhm.
I would tell them, I want you to visualize striking a match and lighting up that check. And if that makes you nervous, it is not risk capital.
Well, there's another cliche before we get into it, is if you want, like we say with futures, if you want to have $1 million in your futures account, start with two.
Yeah, stockbroker.
Yeah.
Someone who was a stockbroker. My clients are broker now than when they started with me. But let's talk about how the year has started off, because I think a lot of people are off sides coming in to the new year, especially in the FX arena, because, I do believe we're in a new bull market in the euro. All you have to do is look at the weekly, and this, it rallied right back to a major trend line. And I'm viewing this in the context of a new bull market in euro, expecting 103.5 to hold. If it doesn't, then we're talking about much deeper retrace under par. And I wanted to ask you this. Do you think that this gap higher opening that we had in VIX when S&Ps were up, I don't know, about 16 handles, you think we're getting some kind of tell, or do you think, Mike, it's going to be just like this, where we had another gap up and within a few days we smashed it? Because I'm seeing it right against a major downtrend. I mean, here's your daily. That's a long-term downtrend all the way back from the highs at 35. So we start penetrating this trend line. Remember, we talked about people who were short vol, that it was, they've been picking up. Yeah, you're long it. And a lot of people cleaned up last year selling vol.
Yeah.
And it was like picking up quarters on the sidewalk, but they don't see the steamroller coming when you're a writer, an option writer.
Well, it's one of the situations where you have to make money 8 out of 10 times. Because if you're wrong in the situation, if it goes against you, it's gonna wipe out those 8, those
yeah,
games.
It's like a one mistake thing. I've seen that. So what's top of mind for you, Mike, coming in? S&Ps have been kind of all over the map, higher, lower. I'm kind of thinking that this sell-off in S&Ps really doesn't conclude until next week, when we have some inflation numbers that I think are going to be benign. That the market could.
I'm sorry to interrupt. You answered at least my question. That's the next. Listen, I'm trading tactically. I'm not going to get out of my game this year. I'm considered. I apologize for interrupting.
That's okay.
I'm considered a 5-tool trader. I can make money.
I do it all the time. See.
Yeah, no. Is that what? Listen, what I've learned from last year, and I think it's going to be like this going forward, and that's how I have to adapt to a trader, is that the game plans have gotten shorter and shorter in time frames. Anybody that puts a price target on any stock at this level is not realizing this is no longer, when Bear Stearns, if you will, or Lehman puts a price target going out for 2 years. There's a move coming up. You said even going into next week's number, that all these numbers just shift so dramatically. So all I'm doing is sticking to what got me literally here.
Okay, just one thing, Mike, on Apple. Last week it looked like we were going to negate it, the breakdown, but no, we're going to 118, 115. I have some moving average, and I talked 115 a month ago.
We had a TradeGate member that called 100, but you know what? Like
114.
like I said today, and going back to TradeGATEHub, what it seems like today, and there's plenty of stock picking. Don't get me wrong. Some of them volume, first of all, going into China, and I'll share my screen if you will.
Okay, you
But
got
like
it.
I said verbally, it's Apple and Tesla today. Those two that are I can share.
Weighing down on the market. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
well,
if Apple has some more downside, that would kind of line up with what I'm thinking is a washout into like the 12th, I believe, is when we get some midweek next week or towards the end of the week next week. And we'll see how much damage. Even the metals were starting to come off for a little while the market initially sold off, and they're the strongest thing on the board, Mike. I have
are
to
now.
congratulate you for you know how to hold stuff, bro. And one thing is, you're better at holding stuff than me. I can look in a mirror and analyze myself. So there's one thing to make a good call. That's great, but it doesn't mean anything unless you make a good trade. And a good trade is great, but the best part of that is having a great hold.
Well, I have a question to you, Coach. What do I do here with them?
With the golds,
Yeah, well, for example, I'll tell you what I did. Okay, I'll tell you which one. First of all, going back to TradeGATEHub, and this is our mantra:
sell.
Sell at AEM.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I think you'll see the moving averages tested, and under that, it'll be deeper.
My point with AEM, by the way, thank you, is that was the first one that caught option activity to begin with, going back 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And when we're working backwards here, and that's fine because you have the red YouTube channel, TradeGATEHub, to go back and play this multiple times if you did miss anything. So with that being said, I wanted to ask your question. AEM was the first one that took option action, to repeat myself again. And the one of the major tools that we use at TradeGATEHub, and I didn't split the atom, and I don't think it works, believe me, is that we follow a lot of auction flow, a lot of option flow for either entry points or edification or confirmation on those entry points or stock that we had previously entered before.
Sweeps.
I'm sorry?
Sweeps.
Exactly. Sweeps, as we call it. AEM was the first one to take it. Okay. So now thank you for the medals. I don't have much as I should. I have them nicely. And that's because everything is going week to week, day to day. And by the way, that is my 2023 mantra. Going back to your original question, that's what I do best. So I'll leave that up to professionals going longer time frame. I don't know what the market's going to do tomorrow. There's plenty of price action volume and good range here on specific
every day.
stocks. And that's what I'm going to be posting. Listen, I post the plan every day. That's what I do. And apparently nobody has a problem with the plan, and the plans are high level, including my peers here. As I always say with TradeGATEHub, I'm open to questions, comments, and even more so complaints, only to get better. We have no egos here. We have no egos with our trading. It certainly kept us in the game, or keeps us profitable, and certainly no ego when it teaches to teaching, because certainly I don't want to waste my time, and certainly not yours. I've already done this and been there. So with that being said, as we follow option flow on TradeGATEHub, getting back to the gold trade, AE1 was the first one to take it. Now, I took off some Newmont this morning. Okay, I feel the same way that you did about AEM, even though Newmont hasn't breached those major averages yet. AEM could come back below them. The one that I'm holding on, and the best one that I have right now. Oh, where is Nougat? Hold on.
Oh, okay. The juniors.
Okay, this is the Nougat that I wanted. I thought this was it again. I did take off some this morning. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't want to micromanage these trades, but you know what? Sometimes I do, because the last time that the stock pierced the 200-day, if you can see with this red bar, it was $38. 3 days later, it was 32. So although I'm a believer in the theme, if you will, but I can't sit back and just be on cruise control. I gotta.
That's why it's hard to be. It's been a tough hold for the last 3 weeks, and you know what? The bullion, the silver and gold have all made successive higher highs, and some of the shares you just showed me have not made new highs for a while, and they're just doing it now. Newmont had. Has a better looking chart short term than AEM. But and that's because the gold silver ratio, I think silver is going to be more vulnerable because it's an industrial, and we're going to have a washout in the market, and everything is remember one market, all one market.
Right.
The miners rallied with the market.
Okay.
Everything rallied with the market against their October lows, and now even gold and silver, will be
Yeah.
affected by this washout. I don't think they'll take out their October lows. The S&Ps may and drag other, sectors lower with it, but I
But
don't think the miners will.
silver more so because you think it's more industrial.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that the
Never even
gold
thought of
silver
that.
ratio is on the verge of bottoming. I've been the boy who cried wolf on this for about a month, but
All
it's
right.
still a wedge, and too many silver bulls. A very popular Twitter, what's it called when you put like a tag? Okay, tag.
Pin the
Uh,
tweet.
yeah,
Pin it.
tag. Silver squeeze. Silver squeeze. Well, you know what? The silver squeeze has been delayed, according to what I'm seeing, and I think there's going to be a great buying opportunity and patience. I said patience this morning to be a
What
buyer in the precious metals.
I've got so many things going through my head. Let's finish with the metals. GOLD is probably my biggest one in the fund now, if you will. I don't have it actively.
Yeah.
That's the one I feel best of. Why? Because the same reason why I felt good in the other ones, which was NUGT and
Yeah.
it still hasn't broken it. It's not a barn burner. That's probably the one. That's the old ABX Barrick. So I'm okay with
Okay.
it. So, but getting back to your point, and I'm glad I remembered this. Getting back to silver, this everybody that's hopping on the silver squeeze is the same reason I'm thinking about. I haven't bought it yet. Everybody knows I've been trading it okay, but they're starting to say Tesla going to zero. So if I do
Okay.
trade it, and the same with Apple, I'm even seeing it on my feed here on the wise guys,
Yeah.
not wise guys, like just people that enjoy the absolute destruction or getting so giddy to the point where I'm looking, the Qs are at the low of the day. That was a hell of a reversal.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have a little mini meltdown, little mini panic. That's what I think the VIX is saying, Mike.
Yeah.
I think that we had too much complacency going into the end of the year, which is hard to understand why when, most stocks close on their 52-week lows, a lot of them, especially the old darlings, Apple being one of them. And, that's why it was hard for me to be positive on the market with my view on Apple because it's just too much of a percentage of different market averages for the market to
It's
make
in every, it's in
progress.
every, it's in every index except the metals, maybe. So
Okay,
you
that's
know
what I
what I mean?
mean. So,
Basically.
so I
Yeah.
mean, you could time the market if you could time a low in Apple, and
Oh,
I
okay.
think
Oh,
115 is viable right here.
Coach,
115.
if I got in this trade, this is not a trade. I wouldn't even leave my desk if I got in this trade. And I got a thick skin, as you know. I
Yeah.
wouldn't enter this. I'm not going to enter the trade. And by the way, that may be a reason for the bottom. Look at the screen right now. I don't have to. Look at all look at what's going on. This JSPR. I noticed. First of all, my New Year's resolution, and let me pontificate if I second and go to TradeGATEHub right here.
Was
And
this a low floater till today?
yes, I'm not in it. I'm not going in it. I have a fiduciary responsibility as an active manager to put this in there. But I did mention it early. So with that being said, TradeGATEHub. Listen, first of all, this is Monday. No matter what, no matter if it's
No, it's
January.
Tuesday.
Okay, Tuesday, correct.
It
Meaning
feels like Monday. Yeah.
beginning of the week. So no
The
matter if it's
hangover should be gone by now, bro.
no, I don't. You know what? I actually don't drink it. I don't drink.
I don't either.
Yeah, I
It
mean
gives me
that's.
a headache.
I
I get
just.
enough headaches being a trader. I don't need
You know
to
why I
drink
don't? It
one.
stops me from getting up in the morning. There's no better high or high. I'm not a drug taker either. Never was. There's no better high than putting on a winning trade. So if anything's going impede
Like
on
it.
that,
Yeah.
that's not happening. I'm
Yeah.
serious. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
dead serious. All right. So getting through to our routine, which is usually on Monday, today being Tuesday, no matter if it's the beginning of the year, February or June or October, this is what we do. Okay. Including alerting on these low floaters. But for me personally, specifically about 80 to 85% of my losers last year have been low floaters and stocks under these $2-3 stocks. That was playing for a move that died that I'm in. That, by the way, I'm going to wind up making money. And like I said all the time, I'm going to wind up having to babysit. Like I said, some of these things I'm down nicely, but I'm more nervous about being down maybe $1 and square at this point than being down in one of those things. You know what I mean?
I broke a rule today, Mike.
What's that?
I bought UVIX.
Oh, I'm not doing it. Yeah,
aggressively. I did it. And
aggressively.
I know it's such a handicap because it doesn't follow the VIX that closely. You never know what it's going to do, but I just couldn't pass up on the show the chart formation,
Right here.
UVIX.
This is the UVIX.
Oh, okay. Show a daily now. All right. That's what. Look at the glaring divergence from the
Coach, I'm
lows.
not gonna, I wouldn't talk you out of the trade. I don't, like I said, I
I
don't care
wouldn't be
what day
sure.
of the
I'm
year
just
it is.
looking for $8, blow out half. But we could be set up for some type of,
Well,
real
I'm in
big
the, well, I
spike.
just saw the mixed, well, you know what? This is the thing though, with, this is our page of the market now. Of course, Tesla and Apple are still breaking low. You have a lot of stocks that were up $3, $4 that reversed
Fading.
nicely. So,
Yeah.
but you know what? The VIX, the good thing that if you're a VIX trader, and I'm not placating, is that if you have the VIX when it's up like this, and you're having stocks up nicely and up, well, it looks like more places to hide than not, which
Yeah.
means pot. And with the VIX like this, if it goes the other way, then that's really when you're going to take your edge, when they start taking profits and everything. And as Apple and Tesla resume the downtrend, like we said, we're not trying to be a hero here. That's what you're really looking. That's what you're the ideal situation, right, Coach?
Yeah. So maybe another 10 lower in Apple.
I wouldn't. I'm not in it. I wasn't
I
in
know.
it. I
Yeah,
haven't
I
been
know.
in it. I'm
I,
not in
I,
Amazon. The only one I've been in, everybody knows, and they should be. If they don't want to know, they should go to here and go to the Red YouTube channel and look at all our videos for the last year, as well as your guests, your amazing amount of guests. There was your stream an hour ago, already picking up 100 views. A lot of views, by the way. That's a lot of views so far. So go back to TradeGATEHub and you'll know what we're talking about. And this is not a pat anybody on the back hour. We've been wrong as well, but with high level
yeah.
opinions. With that being said, is Google has been the only one we've been long. You know what I mean? It's a safe
Yeah.
name. It still hasn't broken the year. Why would I, still hasn't broken the year low. Look at Apple, 125. That's incredible. There's the
Not
200,
really.
there's the 200 day on the weekly on Apple, which is what? The other whole number again at 120.
Okay.
So,
All
the
right.
ultimate kiss of death when you look at stocks long term is when you look at the weeklies for support. And there's
Right.
Microsoft as well. So I
Yeah.
haven't been fighting that. And you know what? Mainly because there have been other areas to go to, and I've been trading tactically. So on the macro view, that's where we look with Apple and TLT was up nicely. I mean, that's
Oh,
we like to see that.
TLT. Yeah, huge. It was up huge.
Yeah, and we'll see USO. UNG natural gas is
Yeah, the
continuing.
WTI is selling off. Everything is nothing's going to be immune to this sell-off, in my view. It'll be a matter of degrees. Some stuff will hold up better than others, but I think that you're the only guy I know that could find like stocks that are streaking in a bad tape. But for the most part, I'm looking for a bad tape. You're finding the exceptions, which I don't. You have such a large universe. I don't know how you do it,
Well,
but you do it.
I mean, I don't want to give all the secrets away, but the bottom line is I have my queries. I have stock. I'll give an example for one of them. I'll verbally say this, and then we'll get to more specific trade. Oh, I'll give you now that this is how I do it. Let me get back to TradeGATEHub, and I'll give you a little step of a little step of the process. And please bear with me because this was very important. And this is what I do. It's a microcosm of what I'm looking at. It's more complex of my queries, which means stocks that are moving at that moment. But this is what I said. And it was a poignant statement of what you should be doing. We have extreme warm weather in Europe. We got it right here. As the market was going down or even was moving down further, this is what I said. Now, where is it? This is when the market was going down nicely. I said, this is when you look at what should be breaking high. So when the futures are going like this,
Yeah,
or let's look at the spies, if you will, which I'm sure,
yeah.
okay. This is where I said right here, whatever, 10:30 when the market was at the low, you guys should be looking at, even now when the market's at low, this is what you should be looking at. And I have more complex things and it's all proprietary, blah, blah, blah. Stock scanner, as the market is breaking high, what stocks are just crunch up new highs at what, 1125. So what is that? New highs or no new highs as of now. So let's go right here.
Uranium
Moving
energy.
up now. Stocks
Yeah.
moving up now as of right now. I don't know why these are yesterday. Why is this not even posting live? Up high on relative value. I apologize. as of time. Yeah, for some reason, this isn't going in right now. I don't know why. So let's go here. Bottom line is, we go right here. Stocks room on TradeGATEHub. New York Stock Exchange stocks as the market's breaking low. Top U.S. gainers. Percentage gain. So if you see the markets going down nicely, no surprise that JSPR is the number one. So the market's going lower. This JSPR is breaking higher. I have to note that. So if I want a thicker stock, AUPH, I know got upgraded today and had a lot of buyers. It's been annihilated, if you will. That's hanging in there above the day's open. So I have an interest there. Data. Oh, I'm in KWeb. Data is a Chinese stock that's hanging on the high of the day. I'm in that as well. So that's near the high. So as the SPYs are going lower, SPY, everybody should be looking at stocks are going the other way. Conversely, if the market's going lower, I don't know why this is not working here today. The stock scanner, it always.
Mike, I interviewed this gentleman once. He lived in China, and I interviewed him during the lockdowns in China.
Yeah,
I'm going to have him here on TradeGATEHub the end of next month, and we're going to talk about what's happening in a guy on the ground to talk about what's happening in China.
Okay. IQ is another one I've been pounding the table on. China stock calls have been going off. So that's what we're following. So listen, I don't want to jump back and forth to my plan and what I'm doing. Tactically, it's the first day of the year, just like the first trading day of the year, just like it would be a Friday afternoon of any day in March or June. You're not going to make it or break it now. Now's the time to just obviously stick to the good habits and not try to hold off as long as you can with holding on to your resolutions, with sticking to what's working in the market. So, you know what I said, just what we can promise from TradeGATEHub, and I said this on Friday on the closing remarks, if you will, is all you can expect here is high level opinions on what's moving on a macro swing trade and even on a moment by moment basis. By the way, I saw that grab yesterday, Gerard. Wasn't it Grub, GRUB? Didn't you show this Grubhub? Let me go to Gerard. So Grubhub. Yeah. So meant Billy and Shop. I posted some CWEB I bought today. Let me get to the chart because I want to show, or at least my screen. Here's my universe. All the China stocks are acting well. I did buy some CWEB when I came on the air. I believe I bought it at 57. Where did I buy CWEB? I bought KWeb, KWEB. That's when I'm in. I'll show everybody my live. I don't know why this is not going. Okay, so I started buying the CWeb, the China ETF at 31.69. Right when I got in the air, it was trading the high of the day, obviously. And that's a China ETF. IQ is another one we've been buying. I sold a little bit of it today. That's where all the China. I only bought this because of China calls. That's where the calls were going. So the ultimate complement is the double, with volume, a 2-day volume. Once again, the ultimate complement, I wouldn't short it. You have to be aware. Once it broke that 2-day high, it was off to the races right here. And there's IQ breaking the high of the day as the market is going lower. So all these China stocks are still acting well. So there's something always to do. First of all, is the VIX is also at the high of the day, but it pulled back a little bit. So to go back to coach's trade, what you want to see is the VIX at this level, still with a lot of areas to run to, and a lot of stocks still breaking higher. What you don't want if you're a VIX holder is for Apple and Tesla to base, and the rest of the stocks that have been positive not to rotate to a negative degree, or it still keep going higher. So there's the universe right there. I get where coach is going. I'm in it too. I like what it's doing right now. But you know what? It's the beginning of the year. The last 2 weeks of last year, there was heavy option expiration. There was a big CPI number. Powell spoke only, 7, 8 trading days ago, if you will, 10 trading days ago, whatever it is. I apologize for not being specific. It's kind of in the rearview mirror, but it is in my plan. So, you know what I mean? Just trade tactically. There's always something to do. My job is to bring it to you and bring these things to your attention, predicated. It's up to you if that's your style. Most of the guys in the room have different styles, or some of the guys. Gerard is a guy that loves to go on sentiment and relative strength. That's why he's looking up Billy and Shop on Friday. He goes with relative strength. So as a teacher, I'm supposed to bring you or as a chef, I'm showing you the menu. If you don't like chicken, go to pasta. If you don't like pasta, go to seafood. If you don't like seafood, have a salad. That either means active trading, swing trading, day trading, Forex, whatever it may be. So our job here, whether it's, 2022, 2023, 2023, is to bring that to you and to answer all your comments, your questions, or anything that we could do better on a day-to-day basis, week-to-week basis, or whatever it may be. So
I
that's
think
what we're
we
doing.
prepared a nice breakfast for people to munch on and think about. Some food for thought for breakfast today, Mike. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. And have a great day trading, everybody. Remember, don't just count your profits, count your blessings. And let's all have a great year together, Mike.
Well, it's only a matter of how good we're going to do. It's not a matter of if we're going to do it. It's a matter of how good. And it also does me a great responsibility as well for me and our firm, is that TradeGATEHub makes me a better trader by not being hypocritical and always doing the right things. Not that I'm a hypocrite. I can go outside the lines a little bit, but this year, like I said, without rules, there's chaos. And I step back myself a little bit, not looking at doing so. I just went by the numbers. The numbers don't lie. I can't argue with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a large enough sample size where if I'm going with the things that are working for me, I mean, how can I not go with the things that are not? So that's what you can expect from me as well. Maybe some, not some of the lower price stocks that maybe some people, I get it. You know what I mean? So I'm going to get better and everybody's going to get better and we're in this together. And we're not only as good as our last trade. I don't believe that, but I used to believe that, but it's just keep in mind, it's a marathon and not a sprint. So it's always a pleasure to serve you and to do our best and to bring trade. Like I said, if you're not making money, we're failing and you're not going to have longevity in the market. And our followers, which are, by the way, are going up rapidly, are not, that's what Coach and I go by, is our followers and by attendance. We're going to be fine with or without you. But
I have a great story. Blake Morrow told me today he was out with some guys hiring to work for him, and his friend was from Illinois, and he noticed I was on Real Vision, and told Blake that I mentored the guy that's mentoring him now.
wow.
So I don't even remember. So we do plant a lot of good seeds that help people along the way. So just a little positive reinforcement
Well,
that some people get what we talk about.
well, and if you don't, remember, it's a process. I am still learning. Right when I
Yeah.
sign off here, I'm going to go to the YouTube channel here and watch Coach's video. Why? Not because I want to talk to him or hear him talk anymore, because I want to hear what he has to say. And I'm trying to learn. I'm going to learn, and I'm going to put that to work. And then I'm going to reinforce my style. What works best for stocks that have good range, good volume, and good price action. So there's forgiveness if I'm wrong, and I get paid if I'm right. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Cheers. Always
Yeah.
have a plan, and we're here with you for the long haul. Thanks for tuning
Yeah.
in.
Pay attention to the VIX. It may
Yeah.
not be old tricks.
Well, as the futures break low, there's the
Okay.
VIX.
Adios, everyone.
All right. Cheers. Thank you. See you at the